Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am so glad to be with you again this evening. It is March. We are in March, and I don't know about you, but this year is zooming on by us already, and so you know what they say, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, because I'm telling you, this year is just flying on by us, and I want to make sure that at all times I am ready for what's coming, because it ain't waiting for nobody. So I just want to again welcome everybody here that is live with me on tonight. And for those that are coming by and checking me out on the replay, thank you very much for joining me. Um, Tonight, we are going to start our series out for this month, talking about savings. And so, for those of you who have been following me for this year, as I've said, this year we are on our reset. I am doing a reset this year because in 2023, life was lifing. And as you know, for many of us, there are things that happen in our lives, situations, things that come up that causes us to to have to take a little step back and to reevaluate some things on how we're going to proceed forward and what we're going to do with ourselves, whether it be our finances, our financial life, our maybe in our careers, we may have to reassess though, our career choices, maybe some things with our family that need to be reassessed. But there are times when we do need to do a reset. And so that is what I am doing on this year. And I am looking to take each and every one of you on that journey with me as we do that reset. So at the end of the year, if you've been following me, at the end of this year, you should have set a goal that when you look back on December 31st, when you look at where you at the end of that year, there was a goal that you said that if I hit this goal on the 31st of December of 2024, I have been successful at achieving what I set out to do. And so in January, we did an assessment of what 23 looked like for us, and kind of did an overview to determine where we are, because you can't get to that next point unless you know exactly where you started at. And we set that goal. So again, if you have not already, if this is your first time joining me, I want you to make sure that you are setting a goal that you are looking to achieve by the end of this year, okay? While you're traveling on this journey with me. And then in February, we took a look at what our spending habits were. We actually went on and did a no spend challenge for a week, and shared some things that we can do to help us to, get our spending under control. And so, for those of you that join me on that, I appreciate that. But you can, go back and and take a look at some of the lives that we did on that to kind of help you out. But now we are in March. Okay, so this is our first live for March, and on this month we are going to be looking at our savings, because I believe that in order for us to move forward to to the remainder of this year, before we go into starting to invest, before we go into working our debt elimination plan, before we start getting other things in place for our retirement, I feel that we should first set up and make sure that we have savings in place. So while we're on our journey of getting out of debt, if that is something that you need to do, or if you are on, if you want to start investing, if you have, some savings in place, so that when emergencies come up, that's something that is there for you to be able to take care of those emergencies, and so you can still stay on track with the goals you have for the end of the year. So on this week, on our post, we looked at for on Tuesday, our tip for this week was the 5 keys to successful savings. And so I want to go over those 5 tips today. And then I also want to look at the question that was posed in our group today, our Thoughtful Thursday. Okay. And so those 5 tips that I gave out this week, the first tip was to start small, because I know we have these big lofty goals. Where can you find this? I'm sorry. Welcome, Miss Joyce, Miss Helena Joyce. Thank you for joining me. I will share some of those posts with you in just a moment. I'll share with you where you can find those at. Absolutely, absolutely. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look at number one, like I said, is to start small. And so I know, like I said, we have these big lofty goals that we have that we want to reach. We want to, save, $100,000, $50,000, $10,000, whatever the case may be. But that may not be, what is in your budget right now. And so we don't want to let those big goals, those big lofty goals, stop us from doing anything. Okay. So, if you can start with setting yourself up to create that habit for yourself, even if you start and say, you know what, I'm going to save $1 each day, no matter what the amount is, get into the habit of making to start to saving. Okay. So whatever it is that you feel that where you are in your finances right now, pick a dollar amount that you feel that you will be comfortable with saving each and every day. And I don't care, like I said, I don't care if it's $1 a day, $5 a day, $10 a day, but I want you to start where you are to make that a habit. And as you make that a habit, then as the months, the days, the weeks, and the months progress, then we can grow that. But we must first start small so we can create that habit. Okay. All right. So number 2 is we want to set specific goals. So again, that's something that we looked at doing here at the top of the year. But if you have not already, please make sure that you sit down and set the goal for yourself, because you can never meet a goal that you don't set. You can't shoot a target that you don't have. So you need to set that specific goal. And again, you don't have to set the goal to save $10,000 this year. You can set the goal where say, hey, it's 365 days in this year. I want to save $1 a day. At the end of the year, I will be successful in creating that habit and saving with $365. Okay. So I don't want no one to despise small beginnings. Start where you are so that, again, we can create that habit of saving. And then as we get more accustomed to it, we build that habit, then we can build on where we are. All right. All right, the next thing is we want to look at when we're talking about our savings. Again, this month, our this whole month's focus is on savings. So the number 3 tip for this month is just to cut back on your expenses. And so that was something that we looked at some last month when we did that no spend challenge. So we kind of took a look at how was our spending, where are we spending things at. We looked at our bank statements, and we looked at if we had any subscriptions or things out there that maybe we're not using, that we can put towards savings for the month. We also looked at some essential and non-essential spending, some things that we don't necessarily need, or maybe some things that we can maybe cut down on, because I would never tell anyone to eliminate in everything that they are accustomed to doing. But if you have a goal that you're trying to reach, sometimes we have to make some small sacrifices to get to the goal that we have set for ourselves. Okay. And then the next one on our list, we're at number 4 of our 5 keys to successful savings. And that's what we're talking about, some tools that we can use, or technology that we can use in savings. And so some of those is like, there are many budgeting apps out there that you can use. So use those and as to your advantage, that will help you again to keep track of your spending and where your money is going. I tell you every single month when I go out there and I tell you, to set your budget for the month, because I want you to tell your money where to go. So at the end of the month, you're not wondering where it went. Okay. So there are quite a few apps out there that you can use to help you to reach your saving goal. Also, another tool that you can use when you're talking about your saving goal is to, do some automatic transfers. So if you have set the goal again to do $1 a day, you get paid every 2 weeks, then set up an automatic, transfer to your savings account of that $14. That way, you don't even have to think about it. You don't have to worry about, if oh, I forgot it today or tomorrow. Okay, so will you be let's see here. We got, will you be going sitting again? I know a few folks is like to invite, start with myself. Absolutely. Yeah, so we definitely have some more challenges that we'll be doing. So yes, so just be on the lookout for that. So absolutely every month we'll be having the different challenges that will be coming up for the different challenges that we have every month. So again, we're doing this month, we're talking about savings. So look forward to something that will be coming up at the end of the month as far as the challenges concerned for savings. Okay. All right. Another one that, I don't know if many people think about when you are looking at your savings. This is something that I actually was, when I was in the military years ago, when my very first duty station, and I had a chief, because I was in the Navy, and I had a chief. I was brand new, and one of the savings tools that he taught me was to round up. And so, when you have you got your account, and you go and at that time we were writing checks. But when you put it in your bank ledger, if you're, let's say, you spent $1.85 on something, but instead of putting $1.85 in your ledger, you put $2. And so it, all the change that was left from what the actual amount was, then you had all of that left over. And then at the end of the month, then you took everything that was left over and transferred it over into your savings account. So again, it's something very simple that you can do on a daily basis that doesn't take anything away from what you're doing. Still going out there, being able to, spend, shop, but save, rounding up that change when you're going out doing your grocery shopping, whatever shopping that you're doing can go a long ways. Just that little bit, that change, it adds up absolutely over time. Okay. Another way for savings to kind of help with your savings is those high yield savings account, and we'll be talking more about that here later on in the month. We have an actual segment on that, but again, a high yield savings account, we will go a long way to help you because you're earning interest, a higher percentage of interest, because many of the banks and these big banks, you earning 0.001 percent in interest. But when you get these high yield savings accounts, you're actually getting 4-5% interest on your savings. So your money, again, we want to find ways for our money to make money for us, for it to be working for us. So putting your savings into a high yield savings account can definitely help that as well. Okay. And then, expense tracking tools. So that was something that, I gave you guys on last week. If you were in the no spend challenge. And then there's, some goal tracking apps. And then, digital wallets like PayPal, Venmo, those things like that that are out there. So there are definitely tools that you can use to help on your journey in savings. Okay. And then last but not least, in our 5 keys to successful savings is just staying committed. Okay. And being flexible, with your savings. So if you stay committed to it, pick something that you can do for where you are. Don't worry about what Sally is doing on this on your right side and what Jane is doing on your left. You pick what you need to do for you for where you are. Okay. So again, if that means that you're saving $1 a day and at the end of the year you got $365, I will applaud you, because again, creating the habit, creating the discipline and the habit and being able to stick with it, we can take that and we can build upon that. But I need you to create that habit and get accustomed to doing it. Okay. So pick something that you can sustain over the course of the rest of this year. So pick what that is going to be for you, that you can do each and every day. Maybe use some of these tools that we talked about that you can do, the budgeting apps, the automatic transfer, that those high yield savings accounts, even that roundup, and to add to your savings account each and every month. All right. So before we go today, there was a thoughtful Thursday question that I posed in the group today. Okay. And I want to take a look at that real quick before we sign out for tonight. But I posed a question of, what does financial security mean to you? Okay. So if you didn't do that, if you didn't see that in the group today, I would I would ask that you really take a look at that question and ask that of yourself, because again, that goes to you setting that goal for yourself. Because if you don't know where it is that you want to get to, you'll never get there. So what does financial security actually mean to you? What does that mean? Does it mean that you're merely paying your bills every month, you know, the bare minimum? Or is there other things that you would like to be able to do with your money to show that, to feel that you are financially secure? Are there, family members that you want to be able to help with? Is there places and things that you want to be able to do when you get to that retirement age? So again, look at that question, write out some goals for yourself, and write out what exactly financial security means to you. Okay. And then I want you to look at, how can you prioritize your savings goal to help you to get to that financial security. Okay. So let's just recap real quick what we talked about on tonight. We talked about our 5 keys to successful savings. And so, number one, we said to start small. Okay. So I want you to assess your personal situation and establish where you are right now and what can you commit to doing every single day that's going to get you to the goal that you're setting as far as your savings goal is concerned. Okay. So again, I don't want, if that goal means you saving $1 a day, $5 a day, $10 a day, I want you to make that commitment to yourself to doing that every day. Okay. And then second, we looked at setting a specific goal. So again, where is it that you want to get to? And if you have that goal of that savings goal that you want to get to, then you can back that up and see, okay, if I say that I want to get to $1,000, then what does that look like for me to get to that $1,000 at the end of the year, if that's what I want to do? Okay. And in doing that, we can use some tools to see, okay, if it's $1,000, how much do I need to save on a weekly, monthly, basis in order for me to get there? Okay. And then also in number three, we're going to cut back on our expenses. Okay. So we're going to look at, where's our money going? Are there any subscriptions and things that we got out there that we're paying for that we're not actually using? Are there some things that we're paying for every month that we don't actually need? Okay. So we're going to look at those things that we can cut back on again so that we can get to that savings goal that we have for ourselves. Okay. And then number four, we're going to use some of those tools and technology that have been, that's been given to us, because those are some things that can prove to be very helpful in order for us to get to those savings goals. So again, that's using some of those apps out there, automatic transfers, things of that sort. And then last but not least, again, is just staying committed to yourself, making that commitment to yourself. There is nothing like being true to yourself. You know, we make commitments to everybody else. We go out and do for other people. We help everybody else. But have you made the commitment to yourself? Have you been able to set a commitment for yourself and been able to keep it? And that's our goal for us to be able to do this year, to set a goal for ourselves and commit to that goal, and sustain the discipline to be able to make it happen. Okay. All right. So I really do appreciate you for coming out and joining me on tonight. The five keys to successful savings are in our group for you to go and take a look at those, um, and then come back and watch the video again for some more tips and tools. And I look forward to seeing you for the remainder of this month, as we will continue on with talking about ways to save, so that we can go on to our next challenge next month of working on getting out of debt. So, again, I thank you very much for joining me on tonight. For those of you who join me live, and for those that are here watching the replay, I thank you again. Thank you very much. Enjoy and have a good evening. Bye bye.